Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman in our studios in downtown Lansing. We're going to stay in the marketplace here, but venture a little off of this facility. Mike Maddox, President and CEO of ASK, who is located in Reotown, just across town from us. But it doesn't look like he's actually in Reotown right now. Mike, how you doing?
Great, Chris. I am doing fantastic. How are you doing? Yeah, I'm up here in the Great Northern Michigan ASK office, AKA my cottage.
Yeah, great spot. That was a stroke of genius, putting an office right where your vacation home is. Hey, listen, let's do a little reflection here on 2020 since it's coming to a close. What are some of the biggest maybe lessons that you think business owners learned in 2020?
I mean, what a great question. The one thing, 2020 was like no other year that any of us have ever faced. I mean, totally unique. I think initially when COVID hit, it was like a punch in the nose, and we all got up off the mat, kind of staggered, trying to figure out what to do. And I think we learned a lot of really amazing things through it. And I think first and foremost, for most business people, including myself, is we learned or relearned the value of how we can laser focus in a crisis. A crisis or a challenge at that magnitude causes us to look at our business with a focus that we don't normally look at our business with, and increase efficiency, increase productivity. And I know countless business people that I talk to on a regular basis that can attest to that. I think from a technology perspective, which is the business we're in at ASK, we learned, and other businesses learned, just how foundational technology is to their operation. And I think a lot of executives particularly started to realize, my gosh, this really does power our operation. And we need to look closer at that so that it becomes more strategic into our plans and to our growth objectives, and how we communicate and how we collaborate with each other. But those are the two key things that I think came out of it.
It's kind of interesting because when we reflect on it here at the Michigan Business Network, COVID-19 has probably been a boon for us because technologically, the whole world was chased to kind of the yard we play in, and our technology was pretty up to date. And I might say, by the way, a crack staff helps with that. We've got great people here. And the fact that our security was done by a crack company, which I'll gladly admit was the ASK group. But you see a broader perspective of different types of clients. Tell me, in your experience, how a business has utilized technology differently than they did prior to 2020.
Well, sure. And I think the first couple of things are somewhat obvious to all of us, is that Microsoft tools like Teams or Zoom, collaborative ways to meet became absolutely necessary. And all of us kind of learned to navigate our way through how to hold Zoom and Teams meetings, and how to collaborate and have meetings with each other, both one-on-one and in groups. And we learned that works fairly well. It doesn't replace the human interaction that you get in person, but it certainly works from a productivity standpoint and from a business operations standpoint. In addition to just Teams, Microsoft was way ahead of this by creating their stack of collaboration tools: Office 365, SharePoint, Flow, Power BI. These are all things that most businesses today already own and have. And the use of them was eye-opening for most. VPN technology, the ability to remote into the environment safely, securely, from a home office and on a home network. We learned how to do that. And I think security became predominantly important. I'd love to talk about that more. But I think the other thing I want to mention in this segment is just how I think a lot of us started to realize that technology can open new markets for us. If we're operating remotely, we can talk to customers anywhere. We don't have to get in our car and drive and see them as much anymore. The business standards have changed. So my potential client could be anywhere in the country, and that's different.
So Michael, give me a couple of things in closing here that businesses should plan on for 2021.
Security and cloud. Security, the risk footprint has extended enormously because you've got people spread everywhere on all kinds of different networks. So if you have not taken the step of taking a proactive approach and having somebody assess your security, you mentioned it earlier, as a business leader, you're doing your company a disservice. You need to do that. The risk has never been higher. And I think watch for cloud technology, because Microsoft is going to start to push things like Windows Virtual Desktop and all your servers up in the cloud, and that's good. But it's going to be a different framework for most businesses, and those are the two things that I think will be fundamental game changers in 2021.
Great stuff to look for. Thanks for what you do on a daily basis, and thanks so much for preparing us for 2021. If anybody can, it's you, my friend. Mike Maddox, President and CEO of ASK. They are headquartered in Rio town of Lansing, Michigan. We're going to be right back on the Michigan Business Network.